Hey everyone, it's Crystal here with your March 25th, 2020 daily tarot reading. In this reading, I'll be picking up on the overall energy of Wednesday and what it has to offer for us. So let's see what the cards have to say. Overall energy for Wednesday, March 25th. We have really been getting the Page of Swords a lot. That's funny. And specifically when I pulled this deck, so, obviously it's for a reason. So we have the Ace of Wands in reverse, we have the Sun in reverse, and we have the Page of Swords upright. So whenever the Ace of Wands is in reverse, it's still this energy of a slowdown. When it's upright, it gives us the power to move forward with whatever we are extremely passionate about. Whether that's like just that feeling of waking up and just being super pumped, or that energy of expecting a new job. Now, when the Ace of Wands is in reverse, it's not as the energy is not as pumped up when it comes to the fiery aspects of life. Doesn't mean that it's not a good day. It just means that you probably won't feel the most eager to start something new, or the most eager to start a new business or find that new job. Because when it's in reverse, it's not negative. It's just saying something about this today, and it is hump day, right? It's being slowed down. And it gives me more of a feeling of needing to just handle maybe just a couple of things today when it comes more so to communication, because the Page of Swords is here. And maybe it is because Mercury is about to actually be officially out of the post retrograde phase by the end of the month. So maybe it is still this kind of slow down or kind of like loss of energy that you feel today. And when that happens, it makes sense for the Sun card to be in reverse, okay? Because the Sun card upright is like children and fun and excitement and games. And when it's in reverse, yes, sometimes it can make you super childish. Like if you're at home with your children, it can make you want to play all day instead of maybe do some of that homework that they're supposed to get done or something like that. Now, the good thing about the Sun card in reverse, it is a beautiful day to figure out who you are, to really go within. And even if you're with your children, to ask them what do they feel about their personality? How would you describe yourself? The Sun card, when it's upright, it's like just fun and games and being expressive. And when the Sun card is in reverse, I don't feel like it's negative because it is such a positive card. It's always great. And sometimes, yes, for a few of us, this will be a slowdown and a personal checking of our own selves to ask the questions of, where's my ego? Is it in check right now? Like, am I allowing my ego to make me feel self-sabotaged? Am I allowing myself to feel overburdened by the world and everything that's going on, and I'm losing myself and giving into the false characteristics of the ego, which want to tell you that you won't succeed and want to tell you that your life is over, or wants to tell you that there won't be any more fun days, and there will be. Now, the way you can use this energy is by going within. Like I said, asking those questions of, is my ego a little inflated? Sometimes we do have this kind of, I am bigger than the world and everything revolves around me. And that is not necessarily true. It's a lot in life that we control, a lot. And it's things in life that we can't control. And sometimes we get a harsh reality check of that when the Sun card is in reverse, because it's like, check yourself. Are you just so self-indulged and just full of what you know and who you are, and you are the be all end all, that you are actually sabotaging yourself by allowing your ego to get too inflamed? And or are you using this in a positive way of introspection, of having maybe a deeper conversation with your children, more so than how the sun card normally is when it's like playful time, playtime or something like that. And for all my people who are single, this is just, like I said before, going within and slowing down, because this is an easy lineup with Ace of Rods in reverse. This card actually came up the other day to where I was telling people, like, if you're not careful, you can make a one night stand decision that can last the rest of your life, and you're not trying to make that be the situation. But on days like this is when it happens. We get too caught up in the passion, the false passion on a day like this, and it causes us to just feel like this is it, and it's really not. We're seeing things a lot more clearer than we did mid-February, early March, but we won't get the full whole picture of our life and where things are going until really the end of the month. Okay, like literally like March 30th or 31st. I think it's 31 days in the month. That is when you will see things like, okay, now I get it. Okay, now I get why the retrograde was having me wait to buy that car, because now the economy is like tripping right now. Or now I see, like, for instance, it's so crazy, y'all. I was disputing something on my credit because it was 7 years old and it just needed to fall off, right? I needed to dispute it. And it was the only thing on my credit. Like literally, I paid off all my other debt. I've never had a lot of debt anyway, but it was like the biggest thing. I've been waiting like a while for it to fall off, right? It finally fell off. And I was pissed because during the retrograde, I was calling the different credit bureaus to actually find out, how do I go about the process of disputing something on my credit, right? And when I called the TransUnion number, it gave me a forwarded message. And it was basically like, you have completed your order. We will send your credit report in the mail within the next, like 5 days or something, right? So I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, that's not what I wanted. I'm pissed. And, of course, eventually I figured out how to dispute it and whatnot. I'm trying to be quick. But good thing, retrogrades are good for this. Missing things that you didn't pay attention to at first. I was so worried about this thing that I wanted to fall off my credit. Well, I looked through my credit report and it wasn't even on there anymore. And I know a lot of people say, oh, once it's old and expired, it'll fall off on its own or they'll take it off, right? But I end up finding 3 counts of fraud on my credit report starting back in the last retrograde of 2019, back in October, if you all remember me talking about the retrograde around then. Something was reported to my credit that was not me. I wasn't even in that state or that city. And it's crazy because who knows what else they did, right? So what I was focusing on, it was a good, Mercury retrogrades are great for re-editing, revising, finding things that you missed at first. And I wasn't even, why would I look at my credit again? I just had looked at it a year ago and I knew I didn't do anything, so I didn't need a full credit report. Lo and behold, I found out, hey, Mercury retrograde is a great time to get a credit report sent to you in the mail. You just might find something that you missed. And here it is, 3 counts of fraud. Can you believe that? I was like, oh my God. So now I got to go through that process. But back to the point. During those periods, and with Mercury going direct, which I think is why we're getting the Page of Swords, we're going to be able to see things a lot clearer. And we're coming to this place of realizing all the things during the retrograde that confused us or that we just knew. I just knew. As soon as I got this credit report, all my troubles are over. I have nothing else negative on my credit. I'm doing great. And boom, 3 counts of fraud. Like, God damn, now I got to figure this out, So regardless, my point is, we're starting to see things clearer. We're starting to get a bigger picture of things. I learned now, I better get identity theft protection, right? So that way I don't have to worry about this again. Mercury retrograde, re-editing and revising the security that you have within your life, right? So now we get into this Page of Swords, and that's kind of why I explained that whole story. Thinking we know so much, when in reality we miss things when we don't pay attention to the vital details. And so the Page of Swords is here today. Like, I'll help you with the details. I'll bring you the messages that you need. Now, so some information is coming through. It is on its way. The Page of Swords has constantly been showing itself So I think this is prepping us for some big news that's about to just come out. And we're going to be remembering this reading like, oh my gosh, it was popping up, that week before and now today. And so it's letting us know that all the information is about to just start rolling out. All the things that have been installed that we've been waiting on from the government, from our personal life, is about to just start finally being seen. Now, it is still the beginning phases of the page, right? So we have a lot more building to do up on it, but at least the message has arrived. At least the message has arrived. Now, the knight will further that message. And of course, the king of swords will be able to decipher the best decision with that information that is delivered. But, thank God for the page for at least bringing it to our attention. So when it comes to people and their words, be a bit cautious today. I still feel like we're not getting the full picture, but I love the page of swords is here. It helps us with communication, but you have to be careful. You just might say the wrong thing that's not quote unquote politically correct and offend a person. All right. And of course, with all this fire energy, people are already on edge. So we're going to use this energy to speak positive affirmations over our life and to be that little mercurial energy of fine tooth combing our life and our finances and maybe a credit report. Okay. So I hope this helped in some way, you all. Love and light to each and every one of you. And I will see you tomorrow.